तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भृगो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय, भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय, शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय, स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी प्रभुदानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय, साध्वी आनंद ज्योति जी की जय, माता पिता की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता अध्याय chapter 4 verse number 24 we are looking into. Here Krishna uses a Vedic ritual to unfold the knowledge. He says, Brahma arpanam Brahma havi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahma eva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. He says, Brahman arpanam is the means of offering. Brahman is the means of offering. Brahman, havihi. Havi means the oblation, the offerings which are offered in the yajna. Brahma aganau, into the fire, which is again Brahman. Brahmana, by Brahman, hutam is offered. Brahma karma samadhina, by the one who sees everything as Brahman. Tena, by him, Brahman iva, indeed, gantavyam, too is to be reached. The means of offering is Brahman. The means of offering is Brahman. The oblation is Brahman, offered by Brahman into the fire, which is again Brahman. Brahman indeed is to be reached by him who sees everything as Brahman. In the preceding section, the nature of Atma was described as a karta, meaning that the self performs no action. Action takes place based on desires and will. All action takes place only when there is a desire and will. Types of thoughts that belong to buddhi, the physical body kaya, organ of speech vaka, and the mind, manas, are the three means of action, karanas. Here the physical body refers to the hands and legs, the limbs that are used to perform action. Any action that is done can be then that are used to perform action. Any action that is done can be grouped under any of all these three. For example, when you offer a prayer, it can be either a mental or a verbal or a ritual involving physical limbs. All three involves the mind. If Atma is the body, mind, sense assemblage, which is the basis for all actions to take place, then I become the actor. Whereas if this assemblage is not Atma, then Atma is free from the body, mind and senses. It is in form of pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupa, and performs no action whatsoever. Thus it was said that even while performing action, the wise person does no action whatsoever, because doership is not there for the person. The wise person, there is no doership. For a wise person, for a jnani, also if the jnani performs only those actions that are necessary to sustain the physical body, no result will occur, because again there is no doership. In this way, two types of jnanis were pointed out. One type is the thick and thin of various activities, totally engaged in action, and the second type is not. But even for the jnani who performs activity, it was said that no action is performed. Why? Because the person sees a karma in all karmas, meaning that he sees Atma as actionless in the very activity itself. How much or how little activity one does means nothing. What is important is whether one sees Atma as a karta. If one sees Atma as a karta, the doership is gone. There is no rule how a wise person should be. One person may be very active and another may be a sannyasi. A sannyasi can also be active or not that active. A sannyasi can. Hamare Swamiji is very active. Bade Swamiji was very active. He may perform only those activities necessary to sustain the body, or may be involved in the world because of his prarabdha. Either way, there is no karma for the person and no result occurred to him, because there is no doership. Despite of all the karmas being done, they see themselves as a karta. There is no doership. Here in this verse we see that for the wise person, karma and everything connected to karma is Brahman. Everything that is connected to karma is Brahman. Even karmas are Brahman. In fact, this is what self-knowledge is all about. There is nothing separate from Atma, which is Brahman. This is the knowledge that makes the person wise. Atma is equated to Brahman. Brahman is jnana, pure consciousness, and therefore not subject to time, space, or any attributes. It is Satya, pure existence, and Ananta, limitless, which is the basis, the truth, everything in terms of time. Atma is limitless. And in terms of space also it is limitless. There is nothing that is dependent of this Satya Atma. Being dependent on Satya, which is Param Brahma, everything else is nothing but Param Brahma, which is Atma, oneself. Atma, the oneself. One who sees Atma as free from action sees Atma as Brahman. And this is Jnana. Therefore, we have to understand Atma as a non-doer, as a Param Brahma. With this knowledge, all actions and everything connected to them, including the result, are nullified, negated. The statement made earlier, Karmani akarma yah pasyet, was made clearer when it is said in the last verse that all the karmas of the wise person are totally resolved. Samagram karma, samagram karma, pravalyate. To say that a wise person sees akarma in karma implies that there are actions being done. For example, speaking is an action done for which there is someone who speaks, a subject matter, a way of speaking, a reason for speaking, and so on, all of which the Jnani understand as being non-separate from Param Brahma. The Karta, agent of action, is Brahman. The karma, object of action, is Brahma. The karana, instrument of action, is Brahma. And place where the action is done is Brahma. This vision that everything Brahman is unfolded in present words by using Vedic ritual as an example. Krishna is not pointing out the ritual itself. He is pointing out the wisdom, the vision that is Vedanta. A Vedic ritual is as good as prayer. It is an action in which a purpose and a result are involved. There is a person who wants a particular result, and there is a method of offering the particular oblation. All the karakas, the factors involved in an action, are presented in this verse. An agent of action, an object, a means, a purpose, a place from where the action is coming, and the place into which the action is going. What Krishna is conveying here is that every karaka is Brahman. Every karaka, all the factors of action, all the factors, an agent, an object, a means, a purpose, a place where it is going, a place where it is originating, all are Brahman. The means of offering is Brahman. Brahma arpanam. Here arpanam means that by which something is offered. Arpayate anena iti arpanam. Anena means by the means of this. Arpayate is offered. Arpanam, the means, the instrument with which the oblation is offered into the fire during a ritual. And this could mean both the wooden ladle and the mantra by which the offering is made. What is the oblation? Havis, Havan Samagri. The oblation that is offered is also Brahman, Brahma Havev. Where is the offering made? Brahma Aganau, into the fire of Brahman. The fire that is Brahman. By whom is the offering made? The offering is made by Brahman. Brahmana Hutam. The Karta, the doer, is Brahman. For what purpose is the offering made? The offering is made for the purpose of gaining Brahman alone. Brahma eva etan gyantavyam. By whom is this Brahman to be gained? By the one who sees everything as Brahman. Brahma karma samadhina. Arpana is that by which something is offered, like a wooden ladle or a mantra with which an offering is made. And while offering, a particular mantra is chanted to indicate exactly to which deity the oblation is being offered. For instance, the word Indriya Swaha. Indriya. Indriya Idam Na Mama are to invoke the Devata called Indra, and they mean this is being offered to Indra. This does not belong to me anymore. Similarly, Aganai Swaha, Aganai Idam Na Mama means this is for Agni, no longer mine. In this way, you are not making the Devata indebted to you. You offer the oblation to the chosen Devata, saying, this is for you alone. I am giving it to you. It is no longer mine. This is the meaning of Arpana. Whether a ladle or a mantra, how is this Arpana separate from Brahman? Nothing is separate from Brahman. Therefore, sound is Brahman, word is Brahman, knowledge is Brahman, Indra is Brahman. Everything is non-separate from Brahman because of the wise person, the Brahma Buddhi. He or she performs the ritual seeing Brahman in everything. Just as when you see a clay pot, the clay is not missed. Or when you see a golden ornament, the gold is not missed. And when you see a shirt, the cloth is not missed. As you see the cloth, as you see the shirt, so you see the cloth. Immediately. There is no time gap. It is the shirt itself is the cloth. So everything is Brahman. They are non-separate. The Satya Mithya of the ritual. Similarly, when a Jnani sees everything, Brahman is not missed. When a Jnani sees whatever is available, whenever he sees, whatever he sees, it is all Brahman. He doesn't see anything other than Brahman. Brahman being the cause of everything, Brahman being the truth, the Satya of everything. Everything is dependent upon Satya Brahma and therefore Mithya. It is even that Arpana, the ladle, the mantra and so on are Mithya. Thus Arpana is Brahman, Brahma Arpanam. The object offered is Havis, clarified butter or any other thing that is offered as an oblation. This is also Brahman. And it is offered by Brahman, Brahmana Hutam. That is the person who offers the oblation is also Brahman. A fact known to the wise person. Hutam means is offered. The word refers to the act of offering, the kriya. Oblation, Havis, is offered into the fire, the location in which the act of offering take place. Here too Agni is nothing but Brahman, born of fire and therefore non-separate from Brahman. We see that all the karakas are covered here. The first karaka, the karta, the one who offer is Brahman. The second karaka, the karma, object is Brahman. The third karaka, the karana, instrument is Brahman. The purpose that takes the fourth case is Brahman, and the fifth karaka from where the action comes is Brahman. Because the sixth karaka, the possessive or genitive case, generally does not relate to action. It does not represent one of the six. The seventh which take place, the locative case, is also here in the verse. Here it is said, in the fire of Brahman, Brahma Ganau. Therefore the fire into which the offering is made is also Brahman. If I perform a ritual for the sake of heaven, I am Karta. Because I am Karta, I want to go to heaven, and this heaven is separate from me. Therefore, if I do this particular karma, the karma phala will be punya, and I can encash this punya later for a ticket to heaven. This is the meaning of the ritual. if I am a karta, whereas if I know that I am Brahman, it is altogether different. Brahman is everything, including heaven. This being the case, what is to be gained by the person of knowledge? Brahman alone is to be gained by the wise person. Brahma iva tena gantavyam. This is to say that nothing is to be gained because Jnani is Brahman. There is nothing to be achieved. Absolutely nothing to be achieved. Because already it is with you. The knowledge is also there. It is you who are thinking it as separate. You are thinking, your thinking needs to be corrected. And that correction is the Jnanam. Gantavya means that which is to be reached or that which is to be accomplished. Because the person is already Brahman, there is nothing to be gained. Everything being Brahman, there is nothing away from Brahman, and therefore nothing to be gained that is not Brahman. While this may be the fact, one has to know the fact. Otherwise the person is karta. Then looking at everything is a ritual, as Brahman becomes a form of meditation. Upasana. Wherever you deliberately superimpose something exalted on the ordinary, there is upasana. Like you deliberately superimpose the United States on a piece of cloth with so many stars and stripes. Superimposition need to be deliberate always. It can happen when you mistake an object for something else. For instance, you may superimpose a snake on a piece of rope without any deliberation. This is a mistake. But to take a wooden or a stone statue of Vishnu or the Lord is not a mistake. Unless, of course, you take the given form alone as Vishnu. This is upasana. Knowledge alone is involved here. Whereas when a person realizes the fact I am Brahman, it is the knowledge, not upasana. Until and unless, till the person doesn't have the knowledge, it is upasana. Here in this verse, knowledge alone is involved. The ritual being performed by the one who sees Brahman in all actions. Brahma karma samadhi. Seeing Brahman everywhere is called Brahma karma samadhi. How can one see Brahman everywhere? If one goes around with the eyes wide open, will Brahman be seen in everything? When a chair is seen, do you go beyond the chair and see Brahman? Seeing Brahman is not like looking at the shirt and seeing the cloth. When you see a shirt, you see only the shirt. Obviously, when you do not see Brahman in this way, in fact, you will not see Brahman because you are Brahman. The thought that objectifies the chair is Brahman. The space in which the chair is sitting is also Brahman. And the chair itself, every particle of it is Brahman, is nothing but Brahman. The object of thought is not separate from the consciousness that is Brahman. And the knowledge of the object, the thought itself, is non-separate from this consciousness. The one who knows, who has the knowledge of the object, is also nothing but consciousness. Therefore, the knower, the knowledge, and the object of the knowledge are Brahman, consciousness, which is Satya. So the statement I am Brahman means Atma is Brahman, which is nirvikalpa. No, nirvikalpa, that which does not have a knower, knowledge, known distinction. It does not have knower, knowledge, known distinction. There is no distinction between the knower, knowledge and known. Gyantara, Jnana, Jnanya, Bheda. Nirvikalpa does not mean the absence of thought, but points out to the difference between the knower, knowledge and known. Because knowledge is myself, the known is myself, and the object of knowledge is myself. This is what is to be discovered. There is nothing else to be discovered. Myself is to be discovered. Knowledge is myself, knower is myself, and the object of knowledge is myself. These three are only apparently different. To say I am nirvikalpa is to refer to the fact that there is no real difference between the knower, knowledge and known. This knowledge is always nirvikalpa. There being no second thing. Whether I know it or not, this knowledge is always there. Similarly, when I see, the seer, the sight and the seen are Brahman. And when I hear, the hearer and the hearing, the heard are also Brahman. What I see, the sight and the seen is all Brahman. Being in any situation is seeing Brahman everywhere. Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam. It is not a matter of opening one's eyes and trying to see Brahman. Brahman is not an object to be seen with the eyes. To see Brahman everywhere is to recognize the fact that knower is Brahman. The knowledge, Jnana, is Brahman. And what is known is Brahman. All three are Brahman. But Brahman is independent of all. Seeing Brahman everywhere is knowledge. In fact, all three, knower, knowledge, known, can be shaken off. They can be removed. And they can return to be removed again. You have them. You remove them. You have them. You remove them. And all the while Brahman always is. The one who has this knowledge, who sees Brahman everywhere, is called Brahma Karma Samadhi. Brahma Karma Samadhi here refers to the person who has buddhi, that appreciates that everything is Brahman. Brahma iva karma, Brahma karma, Brahma karmani samadhi, samahita buddhi yasya. And what is to be gained by the Brahma Karma Samadhi? One who sees Brahma in all actions. What is to be gained when everything is Brahman? Nothing except Brahman. Brahma iva gantavya. Brahma iva gantavyam. If everything is Brahman, what result can there be? If the doer is Brahman, the done is Brahman, the doing is Brahman, and the reason for doing it is Brahman, where is the result? For whom is the result? And for what purpose is the result? Knowing that everything is Brahman, the Jnani who is engaged in activity performs action for the sake of people. Loka sangrahartam. Loka sangrahartam. Even though there is nothing for the wise person to accomplish, this time is available for helping people. The Jnani requires nothing to be secure or happy, and therefore his time is no longer required for himself. Whatever time is left in the person's life can therefore be given to the people for them to make use of best as they can. Even if the Jnani does not talk, people can go and sit with him, and they did with Raman Maharishi as they did it. He did not talk much and could speak only few words now and then. This also is type of teaching, a quiet teaching. When you sit with someone who sits quietly, happily, you also become quiet. Your mind becomes quiet because you have to come back to yourself. What else can you do when the person you are sitting with does not talk? What else will you do? When there is no interaction, you come back to yourself. And what kind of self do you come back to? Not the historical self, because the person you are sitting with is all silence. He does not even blink. The situation naturally takes you back to yourself. This is not enlightenment. It is only experimental. There is some shanti, peace, and contentment. People like this experience, and therefore they seek it out. But afterward the shanti is gone. It is only something they can remember and they talk about. Just like when they come out of a movie and talk about how enjoyable it was. The was aspect of experience is there because there is no enlightenment. There is no was. The experience itself is something you can only recall and interpret in your own way. Still, the person who gives some shanti to people is helping them and is certainly better than giving them excitement. The rock musician gives people excitement for which they pay money. You sit with a Jnani and you are happy. At least here the shanti is free of cost. Excitement may provide some release for pent-up emotion, but coming back to yourself is even better, and it is beautiful as well. Thus the Jnani who can give you some shanti is performing action for the sake of people by not talking. This is exactly what Ramana Maharishi did. Hundreds of people used to go and sit with him. A few, of course, were disappointed when they realized that he would not talk, but a lot of other people enjoyed the peace and silence. Therefore, a Jnani may be performing a variety of activities for the sake of people, or he may just sit quietly, an activity that also help people. In reality, however, whatever is done or not done is still a karma. It is not action or an activity because of actions. Karma have been nullified by knowledge of Brahman. Whatever an actor does on stage, he knows that he is not the role, and that role is himself. He sees this very clearly because of his knowledge that the action he performs is mithya. So too the wise person knows I am not the role. Wise person knows that he is not the role. He is Satya. The role is Mithya. While action comes only from the person, he knows that his nature is Satya. This being understood, he performs no action in reality. In this verse, which is unfolding this vision through a ritual, karma is converted into a karma, all the karakas being nothing but Brahman. In this way, the karakas are nullified, badhita, they no longer exist. When one knows that everything is Brahman, doership is gone. When the doership is gone, there is no real karma anymore. Therefore, in answer to the question, how can one see a karma in karma? Karma is completely negated here and only Brahman remains. For karma to be there must be a karta, a doer, who is different from the kriya, the action. One who performs the kriya through the karana, the means of action, for the given purpose. There will also be a karma phala, a result, and the person is bound by that karma. However, when ahankara itself, the one who performs the action, is resolved, the ahankara becomes identical with Brahman, but Brahman is free from ahankara. Here one could get confused in the following manner and think that if the ahankara is Brahman and Brahman is not ahankara, all that has happened is that the ahankara has gained a new name. Ahankara become a synonym of Brahman. I thought of myself as an ego, ahankara, the doer. Now I have come to know the doer is also called Brahman. Since the doer is Brahman and Brahman is not the doer gains a new name. There is nothing more to it but it is not so. Fire says it has burnt the finger, but fire has not burnt. Fire says, I haven't burnt your finger. Here the doer is Brahman, doing is Brahman, everything is Brahman, whereas Brahman is free from all of them. From this we understand there is a karma in the karma itself, and karma itself is badhita, negated. Thus this verse unfolds the vision of Atma. Giving up karma by knowledge, negating it, is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. It is also the title of this chapter, Jnana Karma Sannyasa. This verse unfolds the vision, and such cannot be a form of meditation. Here Shankaracharya ji raises an objection and answers it. Why not interpret the verse as kind of meditation by looking upon the arpana offering as Brahman? Just as the Lord is invoked in an idol. But if it were intended to be meditation, why was it said that person should gain Brahman? Brahma eva tena gantavyam. To take the verse in this way would also be ignoring the knowledge previously stated that one sees a karma in karma. The vision of Atma as a karta is the knowledge. Because everyone takes himself or herself to be a karta, there is sansara. Kartatva is indeed samsaritva and nothing else. When you look upon yourself as karta, you are taking yourself to be the physical body, mind, sense complex. Karya Karana Sangata. The body, mind and sense becomes the I, the Atma for you. This is only way you become a karta. And if you take the body, mind and sense as Atma, then you are a sansari. This is why kartatva means sansaritva. When the kartatva, doership is there, sansaritva is there, meaning that there is an enjoyer of result of actions. Karma phala bhokta. Where there is kartatva, doership, there is bhoktatva, enjoyership. And this is what is called sansara. The main problem of sansara, kartatva, is negated in this verse by unfolding the vision of Atma as a karta. Therefore, to take it as meditation for which there can only be a limited result is not correct. Moreover, the verse also says that Brahman is to be gained. Brahma iva tena gantavyam. Brahma, being limitless, is not limited, is not a limited result. Besides, because the person is not different from Brahman, there is nothing to be accomplished for one who can appreciate this vision. Thus, the verse is an unfoldment of this vision, and as such cannot be meditation. By presenting a karma, a ritual, Krishna unfolds the knowledge of Atma as Brahman, free from any doership and enjoyership. It is how a karma can be seen in a karma. How a karma is seen in karma. You do the karma and at the same time you see the akarma. You see the karma and you negate it. Just as you see a movie and then negate the reality by knowing that the scene you see are projected on the plane surface by means of lights and shadows. Atma itself is always detached, asanga. It remains clean, just like the screen upon which the movie is seen. This is the nature of a jnani. Atma performs no action. Naiva kinchit karma karoti, and does not enjoy the fruit of action. Na karma phalam bhunakte. Because the verse presents the clear vision of Atma as Brahman and karma as a karma, no other meaning is possible here. To show that karma is a karma, the vision had to be presented in the form of karma, and here it is presented in the form of yajna. The vision is that all the karma are Brahman, and to praise this vision, Krishna presents other yajna in subsequent verses. See, this will be clarified in more detail. In order to praise or understand something, a background is always necessary. For example, to bring out color or shape of a precious stone, a particular background is provided. A frame or a painting is also selected in keeping with the color of the canvas and those of the surrounding in which it will hang. Here too the Vedic background of various rituals and disciplines are provided for the knowledge of Brahman unfolded by the Vedas. In the following section, a discipline is called yajna. It refers to anything that is to be done or offered by someone for the purpose of self-purification and steadiness of the mind. The Lord presents the pursuit of knowledge itself as yajna, jnana yajna, against the background of various other yajnas that are helpful for preparing the mind to gain knowledge. This is what we will see in next coming verses. Yajna include various forms of discipline, which we will see tomorrow in verse number 25. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Gurubhyo Namaha.